Hello, my soul family. How are we doing tonight? Feels heavier when you're gone. I still breathe your name, though nothing feels the same. Hello, hello, hello. My beautiful soul family, here we are. We go live on TikTok. And here we are. TikTok live, YouTube live, Instagram live, and my other recorder over here for the memories. Welcome, my beautiful soul family, for another beautiful round of It's Tarot Tuesday and Spirit Knows It. I am most happy to be here tonight. You're welcome, Miss Ashley. How is my beautiful soul family doing? Please do me a huge favor. Share this live. Share it. Let others know that we are live. Let the rest of the soul family know that we are live. Let them know that it's Tarot Tuesday. And it's another round of this sacred space tonight. As most of you know, this is the second to last Tarot Tuesday that we will be having, as this particular space takes on another form, which I will be talking more about that in the days to come. But right now, all I want to know is, how are you doing? Where are you checking in from? What city, what country, what part of the world you are in? Do tell. I want to know. Where is my beautiful soul family checking in from? We are live on YouTube. We are live on Instagram. I have my other recording device over here, and we're live on TikTok as well. Let us know what side of the world you're in. Florida, we have San Diego in the house as well. Okay, glad to be here. I'm glad you're here too, Embodied Soul Alchemy. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Yes, Miss Empress, but we're here tonight. I'm good. How are you? Checking in from Inglewood, California. Awesomeness. Where else? Where else are we checking in from? Long Beach, California. Where else? Where else? Where else? Let me see. Hola. Blessings to each and every one of you. New York is in the house over here on TikTok. Where else? Where else? Where else are we checking in from? Los Angeles. Yes. Where else? Where else? Jersey City. Blessings to you, Denise Reyes. Blessings to you too. New Jersey is in the house. Jersey City. Lancaster. Yes. Blessings to you. Where else? What city? Call in your city. Call in your state. What earth are you standing on right now? Is there anybody here from Miami? Is there anybody here from New York? Where else? Where else are we checking in from? Lightning bolt. Thank you for that. Where else? Just started a new job trying to help my parents who elderly, but it's difficult when you are the only one who's awake. And oh, trust me, in the name of the baby black Jesus, I know what you're talking about. I know how that feels. Where else? Where else are my beautiful soul family checking in from? How have you been? How was your weekend? And how has this week started off for you? I do want to know. Do tell. I want to know. I do want to know. Okay, definitely share this live and let others know that we are on tonight. Tap, tap, tap on that screen. Invite more friends in here. Sadly, sometimes the algorithms doesn't send out my posts and messages to all of my following, which is why sometimes there's so many people that always find out the day after and they're wondering why they didn't know that I was coming alive. Blessed to have spent time with my sister and niece over the weekend. Grateful, awesome, blessings to your family. Are you still in touch with Event and Freddie? Yes, I am. Let's see. So, as we let others join us, as we let others see that we are live and have an opportunity to join us here tonight. Tonight, I want to name the theme that we're sitting on. And the theme we're sitting with. I want to name it very clearly and with an open heart as possible. Having a tower moment, trying to handle it with grace, but it's been tough. Trust me, anything and everything that you're going through, you have the power to overcome it. Wind was wonderful, real moody the past 2 days. Calmer tonight, yes. So I want to name tonight's theme, the theme we're sitting with very clearly. And the question we're asking, the question we are asking is, what has repeated longer than it needed to? What has repeated longer than it needed to? What has repeated in your life longer than it needed to? That is the question for tonight. That is our theme for tonight. That is the question we are to meditate on. That is the question that we must sit with tonight. What has repeated longer than it needed to? Very important question. Not because we are weak. Not because we didn't try hard enough. Not because we didn't have the best intention, but because repetition, listen to me, but because repetition often begins before we are conscious of it. So our question for tonight to meditate on: what has repeated longer than it needed to? What has repeated longer than it needed to? Not because we are weak, not because we didn't try hard enough, but because repetition often begins before we are conscious of it. Sit with that for a minute. Because repetition often begins before we are conscious of it. So name it. I want you to name it in the chat. I want you to name what has repeated in your life longer than it needed to. It's a very important question. What has repeated in your life longer than it has needed to? Important question for us to ask ourselves. It's an important question for us to ponder on. Underestimating myself, self-abandonment due to self-sacrifice, reclaim my voice and power, relationships. Who else? Anyone on TikTok? Anyone on YouTube? What has repeated longer than it needed to in your life? And what do you mean by relationships? We're meant to come into this life to be in relationships. What about those relationships that you're referring to? What pattern, what behavior, what belief, what consequence has repeated longer than it needed to in your life? What has repeated longer than it needed to in your life? And if you are talking relationships, what kind of relationships has repeated longer than it needed to in your life? Bad relationships. What's a bad relationship? What's a bad relationship? Well, I'm going to make you work tonight. Putting people's feelings before my own. Old story of not feeling enough. Come on now. Not speaking up when something bothers me. Woo, in the baby black Jesus, there's a whole lot of people sitting in that club. Make space. Disrespect. Toxic relationships. People pleasing, giving to others and expecting the same in return. Lack of self-love. I recognize shamanically this means somewhere I sacrificed pieces of self. What else? What else? Call it out. Call it out. We cannot begin to fix. Cannot begin to heal. We cannot begin to address what we won't recognize. Miscommunication of stupidity from certain people, unawareness. The worst part is they don't care. Groups where I felt the need to abandon myself to keep the peace. Woo, that's a big one. That is a big one. That is a big one. Come on now, somebody. What has repeated longer than it needed to? Again, not because we're weak, not because we haven't tried hard enough, not because we don't care, but because repetition often begins way before we are conscious of it. That's a big awareness. That's a big awareness. Repetition of our mistakes, repetitions of behaviors that we shouldn't put into practice often repeats over and over and over and over and over again before we are conscious of it. You know, even if, as I say that out loud, verbal mistreatment, it's a big one too. Even as I say that out loud, we must understand that some patterns don't start with us. They arrive, and that's some, not all patterns. People have it mistaken. Not all patterns. Some patterns do not start with us. They arrive through family, through culture, through survival, and unspoken agreements made long before we even had language in our mouth, way before we had language, way before we had vocabulary. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? So therefore, this is an awareness in order for us to address this question tonight, we must understand how it shows up. Okay? We must understand how it shows up. So that is the big question for us tonight. What has repeated longer than it needed to? What is it that you have continued to allow over and over and over and over and over and over again? What is that thing? What are those things, those experiences, those behaviors, those feelings that last time you said, I will never do this again. I will not allow myself to do this again. I will not allow myself to fall into this predicament again. I would not allow myself to repeat this behavior. I will not allow myself to do, you fill in the blank. What has repeated longer than it needed to in your life? Abandonment, yes. Keeping people around that continue to abuse me. So self-abandonment, not feeling enough, dealing with old childhood wounds. Yes. What else? What else? What else? Again, our question for us to ponder on tonight. The question, the theme for us to sit with tonight is, what has repeated longer than it needed to in your life? What kind of disrespect has repeated over and over again in your life and has lasted longer than it should? What kind of ways have you ignored yourself over and over again, and that behavior has lasted longer than it needed to? What kind of self-neglect has repeated over and over again in your life and has lasted longer than it should have? Okay. What kind of denial? Come on now. What kind of denial has repeated longer than it needed to? What kind of justifications? People that you make excuses for, people that you justify, people that you choose to ignore their bad behavior while still getting angry over and over again. What about anger? What about anger? What about ignoring the truth? Come on now, we're here to do some work. What about ignoring the truth? The truth of who that person is, the truth of who they really are, the truth of how they really feel about you, the truth about how they treat you, the truth about how they dishonor you, the truth about how they disrespect you, the truth about how you dishonor and disrespect yourself. How about that? The truth about how you abandoned yourself. How about that? The truth about how repeatedly you lie to yourself. How about that? See, we must understand that the true spirituality of healing does not start somewhere out there. The true nature of healing starts within. So yes, we can acknowledge that you've been verbally abused, that you've been neglected, that you've been ignored, that you've been disrespected, that you've been repeatedly abandoned. But we cannot acknowledge those things without you acknowledge how you abandon yourself, disrespect yourself, dishonor yourself, ignore yourself. One of the greatest lessons that we all refuse to hear, one of the greatest lessons that we refuse to hear, refuse to acknowledge, refuse to accept, is how the people, the very same people that we feel disrespected by, the very same people that we feel abandoned by, the very same individuals that we feel neglected by, the very same people that we feel abused by, is showing us a version of ourselves. Our ego, It's the first one to not allow us to accept that truth, which then provokes us to react. And the first reaction that we as humans have is, but yeah, but I haven't done to anyone what they've done to me. Let's take inventory. Let's ask a couple of people about how they feel about you. I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying, let's take inventory about what people feel about you and what people say about you, whether it's right or whether it's wrong, whether it's founded or not. Hello? Hello? Anybody there? Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? Hello there, Miss Sherry. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? Anyone in your life who, in any way, shape, or form, is creating a certain level of discomfort for you, it's only showing you a version of you. We don't like it. We don't want to hear that truth. And quite frankly, our ego rejects it. But it does not mean it's a lie. If we take a deep dive into what spirituality is, devoid from religion, I got to make that very clear. It's a statement that I always like to say. Spirituality devoid from religion. Okay? Because spirituality is not religion. That's where people get it twisted. If we understand the true foundation and nature of spiritual universal laws, then that statement is unrefutable. That statement is unrefutable. People show us a version of ourselves. And our job is to do the healing work that supports us in uncovering what it is about ourselves that manifested that person. Come on now, somebody. What about ourselves manifested the abuser, manifested the person that disrespects you, manifested the person that uses you, manifested the person that neglects you, manifested the person that repeatedly abandons you? What about me manifested that person? Those of you that want to be naysayers and play devil's advocate will say, well, we talk, it's my mom, so how is it my fault that my mom does X, Y, and Z to me? There are two different themes, or there are two distinctions between the people that we interact with in our life on a day-to-day basis, the people that we fall into relationships with, okay, who are teaching us a version of ourselves, okay, and the person who we came from, who came to teach us a lesson. There is a lesson to be learned from having been born to a mother that looks at you like her enemy versus her daughter. Hello, somebody. Because in no logical mind would you think that a mother would hate a daughter. In no logical mind would you think that a real parent would abandon, neglect, abuse their own child. But the truth is that these individuals, who is mama, who is daddy, who is grandmama, came to teach you a lesson that we are meant to break free from. What are we breaking free from? The ancestral vibration that has been carried on generationally. Our parents are a lesson. People are our mirrors. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? The family we're born into, according to African spirituality. And again, I'm not here to speak about traditions, religions, or beliefs or dogmas. Teaches us that way before we were born, we chose the path that we're on. Now, sometimes my own black ass has sat here in my life and I've been like, in what mind was I in when I chose X, Y, and Z up there before coming down here? I don't know what kind of joint I was smoking, because I don't even smoke joints over here, but I must have been smoking a joint up there when I kneeled before Olodumare, before God, and I said, yes, I want this experience with that situation, I don't know what kind of joint I have smoked before I asked God, creator, source, to allow me to come down here to experience certain fuckeries. But let me tell you something, we chose it. So even that is a lesson in its own. Welcome to Soul Magi Travels. Blessings to you, my soul sister. Hello, somebody. Are you picking up what Spirit? Are you picking up what Spirit's laying down? Ay, 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 en el nombre de Papa Dios. But it's true. And we have a responsibility to ourselves to cleanse. Not just, see, so many of us are here worried about how to cleanse ourselves, how to free ourselves from emotional wounds, right? Where one, not the only, but one of my major goals in life, through my guidance and teachings I've been entrusted with by the divine, is to teach us how to free ourselves from ancestral wounds. Because it is precisely those ancestral wounds who birth every other wound that we experience here in this trip, in this earthbound journey. Does that make sense? Embodied soul alchemy. And who teaches them? Meaning the parents? I'm just wondering. I am doing the healing work for my ancestral lineage and breaking these patterns, but still, who teaches them? Who teaches them? They have to look at their own mirror. Their journey teaches them. Their own mirror teaches them. But the caveat is their lessons do not come about on your watch. Their lessons do not come about on your watch. See, so many of us are so concerned about when is my mama, my daddy, my ex, my ex best friend, my this, my that is going to learn their lesson. Their lesson is not attached to our timeline. Their lessons are not attached to our timeline. So it can't be when we want it to be. It can't be how we want it to be. That's not the way it goes. That's just not the way it goes. Blessings to you too, Yonel. Bendiciones para ti, hermano. That's not the way it goes. It is very difficult for us to understand that. And I think, and let me step aside a little bit. I don't usually like to do this, but let me step aside. I believe that one of the greatest, again, I don't normally talk about these things, but let me tell you something. In my personal opinion, I believe that one of the greatest disservice that uh, happens in many African based traditions, specifically my Afro Cuban tradition, is that unfortunately these things are not being taught at this level. And I say it is unfortunate, and one of the greatest misfortunes of my Afro Cuban tradition is that I'm talking about literally over 80%. I literally want to say 90, but I'll be nice. Over 80% of practitioners support the opposite. And what I mean support the opposite is they support retaliation. We support, getting back at people. We support punishment, which punishment is the spirit of punishment. If we want to go there, the spirit of punishment is an indoctrination. We've been indoctrinated into punishment. Okay. But that's a whole different conversation. We train people to be on this tit for tat kind of relationship with life and with others. So ultimately, we knowingly and unknowingly play God every day. We play God. We play God in other people's lives. We play God in the lives of the people we love. We play God in the lives of the people we dislike. We play God in everything and in everyone. And one of my greatest plight in my spiritual traditions is to not convince. I'm not here to convince. I used to be for the convincing. I realized years ago that convincing was never my responsibility to begin with. So my plight, one of my many plights, is to teach people that we are not about retaliation. That's not what Creator placed us on this earth to do. One thing is to defend myself by protecting myself. Okay. Protecting myself, protecting my body, protecting my sanity, protecting my peace. But I do that not with the intention of throwing a bullet at you. Right? I do it with the intention of protecting my vessel. Now, if in the process of me cleansing myself, healing myself, protecting myself, how that hits back at you, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. How it hits back at you, the boomerang that occurs from me protecting myself, that's not on me. That is a response. That is a cause and effect from your own doing. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? And I'm not going to go any deeper into that rabbit hole. But I hope you understood that. So, I digress. Our theme for tonight again is What has repeated longer than it needed to in your life? Muchísimas gracias. Un fuerte abrazo para usted también. What has repeated longer than it needed to? It's also important for us to understand we live in a universe that is a witness to everything that we do. It's a witness to everything that we think. It's a witness to everything we feel. It's mind-blowing to me how so many of us forget the fact that we can hide practically anything from anyone. Listen to me. It truthfully blows my mind. The fact that so many of us forget that we could hide practically anything from anybody. The only two, three vibrations we can't ever hide anything from is Creator, Source, Universe, Mother Earth, however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. We can't hide us, from ourselves, and we cannot hide anything from our shadow. Do you understand? So you could lie to your boss, you could lie to your family, you can lie to the one you're dating right now, you can lie to the one that you woke up next to this morning, you can lie to your employees, you can lie to your children, you can lie to anybody. But you can't lie to Creator. You can't lie to yourself. And you can't lie to your shadow. Creator keeps a record. The self that you lie to or try to lie to challenges you. And the shadow collects. It's a teaching moment. I hope you caught that, because I ain't going to repeat it. I hope you're picking up what Spirit is laying down. So, my soul family, as I get ready to pick our oracle card for tonight, I want to share with you a couple of things. If you are on my email list, you got an email today inviting you to sign up into the interest list so that you can get notified when the new container, the new space, the new circle opens up. And again, I said it last week, and I want to say it again. When something repeats itself, it's usually because it once served a purpose. Okay, hear me out. When something repeats, it's usually because it once served a purpose. Repetition is not failure. I want you to know that repetition is not failure. It's information. Repetition is not failure. It is information. Tonight, we are not, based on our theme, I want to express that tonight we're not judging the pattern. We're not here to judge the pattern. We are here to listen to it. We're here to listen to it. We're here to listen to it. We're asking, okay, what did this repetition protect? Hear me out. Based on our theme, what has repeated longer than it needed? I hope you're picking up what Spirit is laying down, because last week's Tarot Tuesday, this week's Tarot Tuesday, next week's our last Tarot Tuesday. It's about really going deep in honor of all these years of Tarot Tuesday. It's been quite a few years. It's been 7, 8, 9 years. I can't even remember anymore. And I want us to close out this chapter of Tarot Tuesday in a profound manner, in a way that it sticks to our soul, to our higher consciousness. For those of us who have truly valued this space, the sacred soul family. So when I sit here tonight, or when I sit here next week, it's because I have spent God knows how long in relationship with Spirit. Always asking Spirit, how can I better guide my flock? How can I better guide my people? How can I better guide my community? How can I better guide my soul family? So again, our theme of tonight, what has repeated longer than it needed to? And I come now and I share with you the fact that we're not here to judge the patterns that have caused so much distress, so much pain, so much loss, so much hurt in our life. We're not here to judge the pattern. We're here to understand it. We're here to understand it. We're here to listen to it. And we're asking, what did this repetition, the patterns that we have repeated over and over and over again, what did this repetition protect? What did it protect? What did it help us survive? What did these repetitive patterns help us survive? What did it help you survive? What did these patterns that you have repeated over and over in your life help you survive? That's an important question. And then the other question I want us to ponder on tonight. Nice to see you again too. Blessings to you. The other question I want us to reflect on tonight as we pull cards is, why is it no longer necessary in the same manner? Why is it no longer necessary in the same way? So we're not here to judge the pattern. We're here to listen to it. We're questioning the pattern in terms of, what did this repetition protect in your life? And the other question is, why is it no longer necessary in the same way? Why is it no longer necessary in the same way? Okay. So as we pick here our oracle card, I want to also remind you, I said it last week, and I want us to remind you again this week. Sometimes the things that Spirit lays in my heart are they're to me they're so deep that it repeatedly blows my mind when I hear it over and over and over and over again in my mind. There comes a point, I want you to listen to this deeply with an open heart. There comes a point when patterns stay in our life, not because they are still needed, right? But because it hasn't been witnessed fully yet. There are certain patterns that stay in our life because they have not yet been fully witnessed. Fully witnessed. And I'll give you an example. Some patterns stay persistent in our life. Some cycles, they stay persistent in our life because no one ever paused long enough. No one ever stopped long enough to name it. To name it. To name it. We haven't stopped long enough to name the actual pattern that has afflicted our life. Like, seriously, think about that for a minute. Denial, rejection doesn't allow us to name the actual pattern that we are participating in. Hello. And this is especially true with inherited patterns. Miss Tanya Ibaria, it protected me from abandonment, disrespect, and abuse. Yes. You're an amazing teacher. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. They are especially true with inherited patterns, emotional habits, relational dynamics, ways of coping that were never chosen consciously, but they were always repeated faithfully. Hello, somebody. Yep. They were never chosen consciously, but they were definitely repeated faithfully. We repeated them over and over and over and over again. That's for us to think about. We must think about that. Um. Anyway, let me pick this oracle card. So, my soul family. I want to say this again. I want to say this gently because I believe wholeheartedly that timing matters. Timing is very important in our life. Timing needs to be honored. And I want to share with this again, as I did last week. I want to share this gently. Tarot Tuesday has been a space, if I may say so myself. Tarot Tuesday has been a space where many of us learned to recognize patterns. And what I'm listening to now is the need for spaces that we are in need of, spaces that don't just reveal repetition, but help us sit with it and help us metabolize it and eventually relate to it differently. Relate to it differently. That's part of why this chapter of Tarot Tuesday is nearing completion. And again, I said it last week and I'll say it this week. Not because it failed. Not because it failed. But because it did what it came here to do. It did what it came here to do. So I only pray that you join me in the new container, in the new space, in the new circle that will be opening up next month. If you're interested in knowing what it's all about and how it will be and what it entails and what it contains and what we'll be doing there, join the interest list. If you're interested, join the interest list. If you are on YouTube, the link is in the box, in the description box, the link for the interest list. If you are on Instagram, you can click the link in my bio. And once you go there, you can go down to where it says, I think, membership. And the first tab on that page will allow you to join the interest list. Okay. So that when the actual container opens up, you can look through it. You can then decide if you want to join. I always say this. The elders in the community that I grew up in, the elders that I grew up around always used to say, no hay peor intento del cual no se haga. So the worst, translated as best as possible into English, the worst try, the worst intent is that one which is not executed. So trying is not dangerous. Not trying it out could be lethal. Ashley Spikes. Yeah, we definitely need spaces like that. And I definitely joined the interest list. Thank you so very much, beloved. Thank you so very much. And thank you so very much as well, Luna, who says that she joined the interest list as well. Trying is not dangerous. Not trying could be lethal. Because where there is absence, Where there is absence of awareness, there is destruction of vision, purpose, and goals. Did you catch that? I'm going to share that statement, at least tag me, because that's my personal statement. Where there is absence of awareness, there's a destruction of goals, visions, and purpose. We are in a time period, I believe, we are in a time period we are being called to wake up. We are being summoned to shake out of our convenient cruise control, nonchalant, if it ain't directly about me, I'm not getting involved. We are in denial of all the truths that we are surrounded by. We are being summoned. We are being called by our ancestors, by our spirit guides of light to wake up. To wake up. So I tell you, I wholeheartedly and strongly believe where there is no awareness, there is the destruction of goals, vision, and purpose. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. So anyway, more about that in the very near future. Let's see what our opening oracle card is for today. You're welcome. The wishing hour, spirit work, mystery, the unknown. The wishing hour. The wishing hour. The wishing hour. Okay. Okay. What does the author say about the wishing hour? The exact time of the wishing hour varies from culture to culture, but most commonly indicates the hour between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. The idea that mysterious and supernatural events were more prevalent at this time most likely stems from the belief that the barrier between the physical world and the spiritual realm was the thinnest during this hour. Therefore, spirits, both good and bad, could pass over from the spirit world into our physical world. For many indigenous and pagan cultures, it is the time when the earth is silent and still, and the whispers from our intuition and spiritual guides can be heard without the disruptive buzz of daily life. When the witching hour reveals itself in a reading, it is a call to focus on upping our manifestation game. Hello, somebody. Oftentimes, when we awaken abruptly during those wee small hours of the morning, we are being called by the mysterious unknown to tap into our inner magic, in which The awakening at 3 a.m. is a direct call from the fifth element, the ether or spirit. In Christianity, it is often thought to be a call from God. The energy or deity we choose is of no regard. What matters is the message. And if we listen closely, we just might hear them whisper, "Now is the time. This, the hour. Ours is the magic. Ours is the power." Hello. That's dope. I've been waking up around that time for about a week now. Well, open up them spiritual ears, because some ancestor is trying to communicate with you. Some spirit guide is trying to communicate with you, and it's trying to get you to wake up, to get on board with your manifestation, so you are able to get out from the hole that you might find yourself in, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically. We must listen. See, the problem with us humans is that we don't listen. We are not paying attention. We pay attention to the gossip. We pay attention to everything out there. We pay attention to the latest news. We pay attention to everything, but we don't pay attention to the spirit that speaks to us in our body. Come on now, somebody. Bendición Santo. Santo, my soul sister. Blessings to you. Are you picking up what spirit is laying down? Are you picking up what spirit is laying down? It is important for us to learn how to listen within. If we don't listen within, we don't have the right ears to listen without. Do you hear me? Look at the, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe Spirit is sharing with us deep, deep information. And if this were to be a test, and I would ask you, what is it that we heard tonight? Many of you would fail the test because our brain is so overactive. And we have bombarded our brain with so much nonsense that we're not listening to the right conversation. We're not even intaking the right information. So it is my personal opinion, you don't have to agree, that it's not just the different ways that we calcify our pineal gland that we've been taught, right? By the things that we eat and all the different things. No, we also calcify energetically and spiritually our pineal gland by how we shut down the voice of spirit within. Are you picking up what spirit is laying down? Are you listening? That's why it is so important for me to upgrade this container. That's why Spirit has instructed me this year. And trust me, I didn't get the message this year. I got the message last year. I was just resisting. I'm human too, and I don't deny it. But this year I decided to listen, when Spirit said, it's time to transform Tarot Tuesday to something else. I've been doing Tarot Tuesday publicly for 7, 8, 9 years now. And this was my baby. This is my baby. I'm not the only human being doing tarot online. I know that. I am not the exception to the rule. But this soul family is my soul family. I nursed this baby. So when Spirit gave me the command, I was like, oh, Lord, Black Jesus, help me. What am I to do now? And I am now sitting comfortably in the acceptance of this higher calling. That's why, we're going into a private container. We're going into a private circle. that those of you that are truthfully invested in doing, in wanting to do the healing work will follow. Because Tarot Tuesday for me was never meant to be something, and I said it last week, I'll say it this week, and I'll say it next week when doing our last Tarot Tuesday. This was never performative for me. This is a natural calling that I chose and opened myself to share it publicly. At first with a lot of resistance, and now it's like, oh my God, I'm letting go of my little baby that I created. But I also do it in honor of spirit. Anyway, I digress. What's the theme of tonight? Write it in the chat if you remember. I'm testing you now. What is the theme of tonight? What is the theme that spirit brought to us tonight before we start picking up cards? What is the theme that spirit pressed upon us tonight? Do you remember? What is the theme for tonight? Anybody on TikTok? Anybody on YouTube? Anybody on Instagram? What is tonight's theme? Let's see who remembers. Nobody? Hello. ¿Quién se acuerda? Has repeated longer. Yes. Our theme for tonight, the question that spirit is impressing upon us this evening is, what has repeated longer than it needed to? What has repeated longer than it needed to? What behaviors, what patterns have repeated longer than it needed to? Yes, Ashley, yes. Divine You, yes. What has repeated longer than it needed to? And I want us to, briefly, as we're going to start pulling cards, but I repeated things because I need, for those of you that are really here in honor of Spirit's work, I need this to stick. I need this to stick in our subconscious. We need this to stick. One has repeated longer than it needed to. And we spoke about the fact that, we came from a place, if I recall, I speak as things are coming through, but the teaching tonight based upon what has repeated longer than it needed to. Again, this is not from a place of shame. We need to get rid of shame and guilt, because Spirit shared with us earlier the fact that not from a place, not because we were weak, right? Spirit reminded us not because we were weak, not because we didn't try hard enough, not because we didn't care, but because repetition. Remember this. Write it down. Remember this. Repetition often begins before we are conscious of it. Never forget that. So when you start to beat yourself down as to why I repeated this pattern, why I repeated this behavior, and I promised myself I wasn't going to do this again, and yada, yada, yada. See, oftentimes repetition of certain patterns begins way before we are actually conscious of it. And as we know, some of our patterns, not all of them, some of our patterns didn't start with us. They arrived, again, through what? They arrived through family, they arrived through culture, they arrived through survival. And unspoken agreements also, they arrived through the unspoken agreements that were made way before we even knew how to speak, way before we had language, way before we knew vocabulary. So it is important for me to remind you that when something repeats itself, it's usually because it once served a purpose, right? Because repetition, for those of you that tend to beat yourself down all the time, repetition is not failure. Spirit pressed this upon me earlier this morning, and I shared this information with you. Repetition is not failure. Repetition is information. Let's remember this. Let's see what my soul sister says here. My soul sister is not just any soul sister. She's an alchemist, you all. Let's fight or flight, losing voice, reject first, fear from of being rejected, patterns of behavior. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Repetition is not failure. Remember that, my soul family. It's information. And another thing that I want to remind you tonight is what I asked of you earlier when we went over this theme, is that I didn't want you. Spirit says that it does not want us to judge the pattern. This is not about judging the pattern. We're not pulling this card for performance. We're pulling this card not with the intent to judge the pattern, but we are pulling the card with the intent to listen to the pattern. Do you hear me? We must listen to the pattern. And does anyone remember what were the questions that we need to sit with tonight as we pick these cards? We are listening to the pattern. We're not judging it. We're not judging it. The first question, if you forgot, as we listen to the pattern, the first question is, what did this repetition protect? A repeated pattern was attempting to protect something. What was it attempting to protect? That was question number one that we must sit with tonight. The second question is, what did it help us survive? What did it help us survive? And the third question is, why is it no longer necessary in the same way, in the same manner? Why is it this pattern is no longer necessary in the same way? Why is it no longer necessary in the same manner? Okay? And I remind you the fact that, as I said earlier, that there comes a moment in time when a pattern stays in your life, not because that particular pattern is needed, but because it hasn't even been named. The pattern stays. I get chills when spirit goes deep. The pattern stays not because it's needed any longer. It sticks around because we have failed to name it. And that which we do not name, we can address. And that which we can address, we can heal, baby. Do you hear me? Is anyone picking up what Spirit is laying down? Can you receive this? Can you receive this? I sit with clients. during healing sessions or during readings or what have you. And in my personal experience and in my opinion, one of the repetitive questions from people usually is, why can I kick this situation? Why can I, kick this? Why can I get, rid of this situation? And 10 times out of 10, my response is, you can kick something that you haven't named. You can kick it because you haven't named it. You have not called it what it is. And because you have failed to name it, because you won't call it what it is, it continues to circle back over and over and over and over and over and over again. Depending on the situation, it circles back through the same people, or it circles back through a new person, but same pattern, same behavior. Do you hear me? See what my soul sisters are so good. New cycle loading with Pisces moving to Iron. Yes. Oh, yes. Do you hear me? It will continue to circle back because you won't even name it. And this, as I said earlier, is definitely true when speaking about inherited patterns. If we can't name it, we can't heal it. We can't heal it. Emotional habits, relational dynamics. And what do? We blame. We blame. We blame. Exactly, Rose City Views. Yes. We blame. We blame others, but we won't look at ourselves. The healing does not start with other people. The healing starts with ourselves. And I will never get tired of saying it. I've been saying it for years. It starts with ourselves. Any true master teacher will tell you the same thing. Healing starts with self. You want to blame your mama? You want to blame your daddy? You want to blame your ex? You want to blame your boss? Look at yourself. That's the only way. That's the only way. Certain patterns, don't forget this, continue to repeat itself because no one ever stopped long enough to name them. If you're Black, we come from a history of not calling things what they are, of ignoring things, of chucking it down, swallowing it down, ignoring it. Because one of the first, not the first, but one of the first, in my opinion, one of the first low spiritual vibrations we as a Black people were taught was the spirit of silence. The spirit of silence still afflicts us today. Do you hear me? That alone does not allow us to name the things that need to be named, to call the things that need to be called forward. Because that spirit of silence is still vibrating energetically in us through our DNA. Through our DNA. So it's easier for us to blame than to name things and call it what it is and address it. And it's funny, and I said this earlier, it's funny because, not funny, right? But it's interesting because I said earlier, we never chose many of these patterns consciously because it was inherited, but we repeat them faithfully. We repeat them faithfully. And it needs to stop. We need to put an end to it. I hope this is making sense because we ain't here to waste our time. We're not here to waste our time. Okay. Let's start with Aries. Let's start with Aries tonight. And remember, I am of the opinion, I am of the belief that lack of awareness. Let me see if anyone remembers. Miss Luna, do you remember? What is it I say lack of awareness does? Lack of awareness destroys goals, vision, and purpose. So we selectively participate in not wanting to be aware of the things that we partake in, of the people that we are in relationships with, broken relationships with. And because we refuse to be aware of the truth and reality of what we live, we inadvertently destroy our goals, destroy our vision, and destroy our purpose. We are being called to recalibrate. We are being summoned from the ancestral realm to step up. To step up. We can't step up while continuing to ignore. We can't step up while continuing to deny. We can't step up while continuing to neglect ourselves. So I'm gonna not me. I'm another human being just like you. Okay. I go do boo boo. I pee. I belch. I do all the same things you do. I ain't better than you, but I'm gonna tell you something. Spirit is gonna call us all out. In terms of how we are choosing to show up. We can't continue to show up halfway and expect all the results. We can't. Spirit, the divine source, is not signing off on that any longer. So it's time to wake up. Anyway, I'm going to start with Pisces tonight. Again, if you are interested in joining the private container, if you're interested in joining the private healing circle that's opening up next month, click the link in my bio if you are on Instagram so that you can sign up for the interest list, right? So that you will be sent information once the container opens up and is ready for signups. You'll get that information, but sign up for the email list, the interest list, so you can get notified. If you are on YouTube, that information, the link is in the description box. And if you are on here on TikTok, I have not found a way to, put it on here. So you're going to either have to visit this video upload when it uploads to my YouTube channel and go to the description box, or go to my Instagram page. Okay. Pisces, are you in the house tonight? Awesome, Miss Lauren. Where are the Pisceans? The good old fishes, are you in the house tonight? Presente, dice la doña. Del pollito asado. Vamos a ver. Hey, okay. We're starting like that tonight, aren't we? We got the Two of Pentacles. We got this Jupiter and Capricorn card, okay? Hi. So you Capricornians, if there are any Capricorns in the house, listen up. The Two of Pentacles for the Pisces. This Jupiter in Capricorn card. Interestingly enough, I can relate this to tonight's theme. I can relate this to tonight's questions, the inquiries that we've been presented with by the divine, by spirit. With the Two of Pentacles, we're juggling with indecisiveness. We're juggling with concerns that are weighing heavy. We're juggling many responsibilities at the same time. But let me tell you something. Remember, based on our questions tonight, based on our important reflective questions, this no longer is about. You can no longer hide behind the, what do I do? What do I do? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm undecided. I'm confused. No. It ain't about that any longer, hon. It's about what you are not willing to admit to yourself if, for once, you were to choose you. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? Okay? Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? It's no longer about that. 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 Because part of what this Two of Pentacles talks to me about, it's also about inflexibility. We are inflexible. When we are inflexible, we are not adaptable. You have some sense of inflexibility, and you're finding it very difficult to adapt to your current situation. Adapting doesn't, see, people get it twisted, in my opinion. Adapting is not always settling. Adapting is not always settling. Adapting is about what lessons is the universe teaching me at this level before I get to my next. The Two of Pentacles shows up in your life in this moment for the collective vibration to remind us that there's, at the end of the day, we are only humans, and there's only so much we can do. There's only so much we can do. And there needs to be a moment in time in which we sit our ass down and we ask ourselves, what the hell are we doing? What are we doing? What in the black Jesus am I doing? What am I doing to myself? What am I doing with myself? What am I doing with continuing to participate in a cycle, in a continuous cycle that depletes me, that negates me, that puts me in the same position to continue to do to myself what others did to me? Abandon myself, abuse myself. You think abuse is only being hit and being slapped and being pushed, and no. The greatest abuse is emotional abuse and mental abuse. How are you mentally and emotionally abusing yourself? By continuing to participate in the very same things that are sucking you dry. And you keep in that continuous cycle going on. And it's affecting your progress. It's affecting your growth. It's affecting your abundance. Because this is like Jupiter in Capricorn. It's very much related. For whomever this message is for, I don't know who you are, but Spirit knows who you are. It's affecting your relationship with your work or your professional job or your business. It's affecting it. Because you're taking care more of other people than you are yourself. And for another group of you, you are afraid. See, it is important for us to remember the fact that some people are afraid of failure. But the truth is that some people are also afraid of success. Okay? Oh my God. You just made me laugh. South, it says, haven't seen you in almost 2 years, Doc. I click on and you're already reading me to filth. Ay, ay, ay. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? How are you participating in your own demise? How are you participating in your own demise? Either by overdoing what you shouldn't be doing, or through inaction. Inaction, lack of thereof. What are you doing? Right now, the Two of Pentacles says that you are stuck in a cycle. And this cycle you're stuck on is counterproductive. Okay? And it's stepping all over your dreams. And it's not allowing you to advance. But as the great master teacher, alchemist, master healer, and to me, she don't know it. She's just my mother from another lifetime. The great Iyanla Van Zandt, Dr. Reverend Iyanla Van Zandt would say, "You're not calling a thing a thing. You're refusing to call it what it is." And that's why you're stuck. So, if you recognize the particular pattern, the particular behavior that is negatively affecting your life, then as Spirit posed for us tonight, you must ask yourself, what is that pattern trying to protect? Okay. What once upon a time did it help you survive? Okay. And why is it no longer necessary in the same way for where you're going, for where you should be, for what you should do? What are you doing? Because I will go as far as to tell you, if you do not address this behavior, it will eat you up this year. It will eat you up this year from the inside out. Do you hear me? Humans have a way. We humans have a way of, if you never heard this, hear it from me. We have a way of suffocating our own inner spirit. We have a way of suffocating our own inner spirit. And people that suffocate their own inner spirit, there comes a moment in time in life where lights go out. No thanks, what? K. Abe says no thanks. To what? I don't know. So stop suffocating your inner spirit. Because when you suffocate your inner spirit, you're cutting your life short. Because you're not spiritually, energetically breathing. Because you're not in alignment with the mission you were entrusted with in coming to this earth. You know when you really are tired? When you're tired of being tired, okay? That's when you really know. When you're truthfully tired of being tired. Only then will change really start to take place. It's much better to admit to it. Okay? Let's move on. Aries, are you in the house tonight? Where are the Aries? Are you in here? You're welcome, Luna. Pero no te puedes ir, ahora tienes que quedarte. Ay, ay, ay. ¿Dónde están mi gente? ¿Dónde está mi tajado con el dedito? Are my finger club in the house? You're welcome so much. Aries, the Knight of Wands, 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 the Knight of Wands for the Aries. It's not a bad card, the Knight of Wands. Not a bad card. But what it is telling us is that with the Knight of Wands, use your talent, use your charisma to get through. Use that natural charisma that Creator gave you to manifest. To manifest. To manifest. Don't hide it. The problem with our ability to manifest is that we hide our ability, we hide our talents, we hide our craft, we hide our gifts. We hide them. We hide them. I don't know if it's fear of being seen, which is the case for many people. And for as long as you hide your gifts, you're not going to get what you want or what you deserve or what you really need. This is also a card that calls for us to be straightforward. There could be a situation you're experiencing right now with someone that because of la pena, you feel shy or you feel bad for the person. You are not being straightforward about what's going on. And that could be causing much distress. And I'll tell you what, with this particular card, stop rejecting new experiences, new opportunity. If there's an opportunity to travel, go. If there's an opportunity to go somewhere, go. This is the card that calls for a complete change up, a complete remake, a complete transformation. But you can only really have that if you give yourself permission to experience new things. You can't experience new things in the same old place. Okay. So venture out. Venture out. Knight of Wands. If you're working on something, if you're doing something, if you're starting a business, if you're working on a project, excite yourself. Do it with excitement. Do it with true conviction. Do it with a happy feeling. Because if I was someone that was to invest in you, and you wanted me to invest in you, in your business, or in your vision, in your project, and you come to me, or you are introduced to me, and I'm the person that you are hoping that invests in your business or in your vision, but I see you, and you're all like, con la paja caída. Ahí, con la paja caída, arrastrando los huevos. Ahí, like, no. Who the hell wants to invest in someone, who feels like they're treating their vision like it's on life support? Hello? Be excited about it. Be excited about what you want me to invest in. Be excited about what you want me to buy. Be excited about what you want me to do. But if you come around, con la bemba caída, and no, you're getting back the energy you're putting out. You're getting back the energy you are putting out. That's what you're getting back. It's important. It's very important. A new opportunity, a new invitation can come your way, but it's going to meet you where you're at. It's going to meet you where you're at. It's going to meet you at the level you're at emotionally, mentally, energetically. That's where it's going to meet you. So if it doesn't pan out, if it doesn't work out, don't blame anyone, blame yourself. Take responsibility over how you have participated in this experience. I hope you catch that. Next runner up. Aries. Let's go into Taurus. Are there any Tauruses in the house? Are there any Tauruses in the house? The Magician. I like the Magician. I really like the Magician. The Magician, the Magician, the Magician, the Magician, the Magicians. The Magician, this Mercury Hermes card. Hermes Trigonismus. The Magician. The Magician. Are there any Tauruses in the house tonight? Taurus, you are in a great position for manifestation in this moment, if you take advantage of it. But let me make this clear. I want you to understand this distinction. Spirit is pressing in my spirit. Spirit says, I am understanding Spirit's message through the Magician card for the collective Taurus in a manner that says that you are in a great position for manifestation right now. But this is also with the understanding that your ability to manifest is dependent upon the people, the spaces, the energies you keep around. In other words, based upon the relationships you are in, platonic, sentimental, emotional, professional, familial, based on the relationships you keep around will determine your level of manifestation. Because oftentimes growth chooses to not appear based upon what you are partaking in. If your spirit guides, if your ancestors of wisdom, if the God of your understanding deems your environment dangerous to your calling, to your vision, to your purpose, it has the ability to restrict the blessings that you deserve, the blessings that you are attempting or claiming to be working hard on. It will restrict it if it feels that you are not in safe space to protect the investment, to protect the blessing, to honor the blessings. So your magician just says, listen, it's time to manifest. But let's look at what we keep around, because as above, so below, as within, so without. So for healing purposes, for the purposes of true spiritual healing, true shadow work, true ancestral healing, what are you keeping around? Who are you in relationship with? What is it you are doing that is infringing, affecting negatively your ability to manifest? It's not lack of talent. It's not lack of, no. Don't blame any of that. Look at what's going on in the dynamic of the place I'm living at, the people I'm living with, the person I'm laying in bed with, the person I'm waking up to, the place. What is it about my environment that my spirit guides are saying, I want to give you this, but I am afraid that if I give it to you now, it will put your vision, your purpose, your goal in danger. As above, so below, as within, so without. Manifestation, Hermes, Mercury. Are you truly paying attention to all of your talents? Are you truly paying attention to all of your gifts? Or are you living a life based upon satisfying what is expected of you, satisfying what people need of you, satisfying what people are asking of you? How are you neglecting yourself? How are you denying yourself? How are you ignoring yourself? Is this making any sense? This message ain't for everybody, but for whomever it is for, pay attention. Because there is so much more for you to be able to do. You have the ability to manifest. This is the magician. The magician is the manifester. So how are you standing in the way of your own ability to manifest? I hope that makes sense. And we know who comes next. We know who them people are. We know who them people are. Many blessings to you, beloved. Have a great rest of your evening. Y que mañana te vaya excelentísimo. Bueno, que sea un tratamiento de belleza, ¿no? Un tratamiento de purificación, de masaje, un tratamiento en el beauty parlor, donde te hagan los faciales, los masajes, skincare. Blessings to you. Have a great night. You know who comes next? Them people. You know who you all are? Are you in the house? Where are the Geminis? Where are the Gemmies? Where are the Geminis? Spirit's going to make me work tonight. The hangman. The hangman. The hangman. If there are projects, if there are visions, if there are ideas, if there are goals that have been paralyzed, don't question it. If they've been frozen, don't question it. If it has not worked out the way you want it, don't question it. Oftentimes, spirit, the divine, takes the power away because the way we were attempting to do things, the way it was showing up, the way we were addressing it, the way we were trying to handle it was not convenient for us. When we are impulsive, when we are reactive, when we're not really stepping into the power of discernment, spirit will step in and take power away. Will make it feel like it's taking power away from us. Equally so, when the divine, when spirit, when Mother Earth, when the universe, when the ancestors of wisdom, when your spirit guides of light deem you to be someone that is not honoring your calling, they will take your power away momentarily. When the divine sees that you are in danger, when the divine sees that you are at risk, when the divine sees that there are vultures around you, the divine will paralyze visions, will paralyze goals, will paralyze things that you feel you need or you want. The ancestors have the power to do that. So, in this particular moment in time, if there are projects, visions, things that you were doing that did not pan out the way you expected it, or it feels like it got taken away from you, instead of you getting all bent out of shape about it, your best option would be to take a couple of steps back and ask yourself, why is it that this is not working? How can I see this differently? How can I experience this situation differently? Because that's also what the hangman is asking of us. It's asking that we give ourselves permission to see things differently, to see that experience with that person, that experience with that, you thought it was all good. You went into that date, everything would seem to have been going fine. And all of a sudden, this person ghosts you. And you're like, what happened here? Well, look at it from a different perspective. Does it always have to be about you being wrong? Does it always have to be about you did something wrong? Does it always have to be about you not being beautiful enough? No. Sometimes that person ghosted you because they knew something in them told them that they will not be able to fuck around with you. Your ancestors might have been standing right beside you, intimidating the shit out of that person. So while you're sitting there complaining about why they ghosted you, you should be thankful that your ancestors of wisdom, your spirit guides of light, the divine source of your understanding said, not with this person. You ain't going to play with her. And this person ended up ghosting you. Quote unquote, ghosting you. Did they really ghost you, or were they chased out? Was there something about your vibration that they felt they weren't strong enough to deal with? And granted, the opposite is also true, could possibly be true. You said something, you did something, or you didn't say something that they felt turned them off? Well, it's their loss. It's their loss and your opportunity. Their loss for not being able to walk the path with you, and your opportunity to pursue what really is in alignment with you. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? The hangman is about reflection. The hangman is about things that you are into right now, experiencing right now, that Spirit is inviting you to look at it differently, to experience it differently, to look at it from a different angle, because the way you're currently seeing it may not be it. So stop getting frustrated. Stop getting all bent out of shape. Stop being reactive and pose the question. Sit with your ancestors. Sit with your spirit guides of light. Sit with your ancestral altar. Sit with the God of your understanding. Sit in meditation. Sit in prayer. Sit under a tree. Put your feet on the grass, on the ground, on the earth. And say to yourself, wait a minute. What in the baby black Jesus is going on here? What is the picture? What is the revelation the divine wants to show me? Instead of me being reactive, let me be responsible over this download, over what the divine is attempting to show me. Moving forward, Cancers, Cancer in the house. Are you in the house tonight? Are you in the house tonight? There are no Cancers tonight. Should we skip Cancer? Because you know they always come with a story, I tell you. I'm just kidding. Yes, I did. I just did Jimmy. The Chariot. The Chariot for Cancers. The Chariot for Cancers. The Chariot for Cancers. Spirit says, lead the way. Lead the way. Okay? Lead the way. Lead the way quietly. Lead the way in silence. Lead the way without boasting. Thank you, beloved Sadie. Thank you. Lead the way without letting everybody and their mama and their grandmother and the cockroaches in the neighborhood know what you're going to do and what your plans are. Shut your mouth. Okay? Shut your mouth. Because if plans are not working, it's not because they're not meant to be. It's because they're being sabotaged by God knows who. Usually it's someone close. It's not someone far. There's a saying in my country that says, Dios cuídame de mis amigos, que de mis enemigos me cuido yo. Basically, it says, God, creator, spirit, whatever you want to call it, protect me from my friends, because from my enemies, I will protect myself. So it's usually someone that's close to you. It's usually someone that you never expect. It's usually someone that you have invested everything into. It's usually someone that you have given in your all, practically giving them your own blood. Walk in silence, act in silence, plan in silence, execute in silence, and let the victory speak for itself. That's what the Chariot is asking of you tonight. It wants you to lead. It wants you to act now. It wants you to stop waiting for permission, stop waiting for approval, stop waiting for a bigger sign. You got all the signs needed to do what needs to be done. You got all the signs and all the cues and all the downloads needed and all the messages needed for you to put action behind the idea, behind the plan. Get your ass up and get to work, because there ain't no time to waste. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? Okay? It's very, very important. Give me 1 second, you all. Okay. All right. Lead the way. De nada. Blessings to you. Lead the way. Be the leader that you are meant to be. The chariot also tends to show up when Spirit is telling us change direction, not necessarily change directions, but you might have to take a different route towards your goal. You might have to take a different route towards your vision. You might have to take a different route, because if too many people know your plan, if too many people know what you're doing, if too many people you already spoke of it too early, too soon, change the vision, change the not the vision, change the course, change the route. So they think you gave up, so they think you're not going to do it anymore, and then surprise them as you also surprise yourself. Leo, is Leo in the house? Is Leo in the house? Where are the Leorians? Is Leo in the house tonight? Where are them fire people? Where are them fire people? Where are the fire people? Uf. En el nombre de Papá Dios. In the name of the baby black Jesus. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Two of Swords for the Leos. Two of Swords for the Leos. And if you're a Libra, listen up. If you have a moon in Libra, listen up as well, because this is a moon in Libra card. The Two of Swords. Ay, Dios mío. I know there are parts about your life in this moment that feels like you are stuck. I know there are parts of your life in this moment that might feel a little overwhelming. Overwhelming, listen to the different phases that overwhelm has. Overwhelm could show up disguised as, this is just too much for me. This is just too much for me. I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can do this, because, you've been hurt, you've been denied, you've been neglected, you've been abused, you've been used, you name it. And you're like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this. Now, it could also show up from a place of just feeling overwhelmed because there are so many different responsibilities over your shoulders that you might feel that there isn't enough of yous to be able to execute. And this also contributes to the paralyzation of dreams. Because you're like, I'm afraid that I won't be able to meet the goal, that I won't be able to perform accordingly, that I will not be able to make the numbers, that I will not be able to do the job, basically. And spirit begs to differ. Spirit says you have all it takes to do X, Y, and Z. You have the intelligence, you have the knack, you have the ability, you have the gift. But in the process of upgrade, gift yourself permission to see the truth that hides around you. Two of Swords is a card that's asking a few things of you. You need balance. Balance will come from within. You need to be able to address your real emotions, not the emotions you show people, but the ones you hide within. About how certain experiences and certain dynamics and certain environments and certain people and certain things make you feel. Once you acknowledge and recognize how certain experiences make you feel, then you can take a step forward intelligently in addressing said issues accordingly, intelligently, with awareness, with higher focus, with higher notice, with higher function. Do you hear me? This is not about bickering. This is not about fighting. This is not about, you know, trying to come for somebody's throat. No. This is about putting the cards on the table. This is about calling it what it is. This is about you addressing things from the inside out. This is about you not continuing to neglect needs. Do you hear me? The Two of Swords can be emotional. The Two of Swords can feel overwhelming. The Two of Swords can make you feel as if you are sinking or drowning. But it's all an illusion. You're not drowning. You're not sinking. You're just not addressing things the way it needs to be addressed. Loud and clear, I'm happy to hear that. And one thing the Two of Swords wants, the Two of Swords desires justice. It's looking for things to be fair. But fair doesn't live in every corner. Fear does not live in every street. Fear ain't always present at all times. It ain't always present at all times. So stop calling for fairness. Because in the absence of fairness, what you must have within is conviction. Conviction. That's what will take you over to the next side. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? You need to possess loyalty. Loyalty. Loyalty to your calling, to your vision, to your purpose, to your true self, to your higher self. Loyalty. You can be more loyal to the people, places, and things that contribute to your stress, your lack of peace, your lack of sanity, and your demise than you do for your own calling, vision, and purpose in life. Get your priorities straight. Stop requiring the validation when Creator Source is already giving it to you. God, Creator, Source, Spirit already gave you the validation. So you better tell your inner child to take a seat while you take control. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? Two of Swords could be an experience where you will have to face some tough decisions. But you have what it takes. It's all good. Trust me, it's all good. I ain't screaming. Ay, ay, ay. Virgos, are my fellow Virgorians in the house? Are my fellow Virgos in the house tonight? Where are the Virgos in the house? Come on now. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Shit. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. And if you're an Aries, listen up as well, as this is an Aries card. The replay is on YouTube and also on my Instagram page, because TikTok does not allow replays of this, but it will be on my YouTube channel and on my IG. Aries, if you're in the house, also listen up. This message, you're welcome. Gracias a ti. Virgo, you got the Emperor. The Emperor. The Emperor. The Emperor. It's time for that new beginning. It's time for that new phase. It's time for that leadership. It's time for you to show up as the leader of your life. It's time for you to take the reins. It's time for you not just to envision your purpose, envision your goal. It's time for you to actually live it. It's time for you to actually execute it. Virgo, the Emperor shows up for you today. The Emperor. The Emperor, the Emperor, the Emperor. This is about acknowledging your inner power. This is about acknowledging your inner strength. This is about acknowledging the abilities that Creator gifted you with. Virgo. This is the moment in time. Thank you, Leo Wedge, for those gifts. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down, Virgo? Okay. This is the moment in time where you take control, where you claim your throne, where you sit in your royal seat. Not to boast, but to do the good work, to do the real work from a different point of view. Leading from down here is not the same as leading from up here. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? It's not that you were not meant to be a leader. You were always meant to be a leader. It's just the Spirit, the divine, is upgrading where you will be leading from. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? I'm claiming this message for myself. Come on now, somebody. Spirit is changing the view from where you get to lead. And when you get to lead from this different view, from this different angle, you get to experience yourself differently as well. You were leading down here and things were working. That's why you earned the upgrade. But you were leading down here in a place where it exhausted you, it depleted you, it didn't leave enough room for yourself. Now you will be leading from a different angle where you will continue to do great and good works, but you will become a better friend to yourself. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? CLC. Take advantage of that, claim it, manifest it, hold on to it for dear life. Because this is the moment. This is the moment. CLC. It's much needed. And for many of us that have truly done the real work, it is much deserved. Much deserved. Much deserved. Much deserved. You've earned it. Let's get to it. Libra, are you in the house? Are you in the house, Libra? As I shuffle here for Libra, I remind you, if you just joined us, the interest list is available for you to sign up for the newsletter to get informed of the opening of the new container, of the new healing circle, of the new space Tarot Tuesday will be elevating into. Not because it'll be tarot, it's just Tarot Tuesday. It's upgrading to a different level where deeper work will be done, ongoing work will be done, growth and expansion will take place, and we will expand and solidify our knowledge of self for the purpose of healing ancestrally, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, and spiritually. So definitely take a look at this new container that I am building. Sign up for the interest list so you can get notified when the container opens next month. I am happy to be able to hopefully see many of you on the other side, because this year, as Spirit just said, this year calls for growth. It calls for an upgrade. It calls for a different container, a different environment for those of us that really want to walk the path and be about it. Not just talk about it, but actually be about it. So if you're on Instagram, go to the link in my bio, click the first tab, and within that page, you will be able to sign up for the interest list so you get notified of when the when new container opens up for you to sign up for it. If you're on YouTube, the link is in the description box. If you are here on TikTok, you're going to have to visit either my IG or my YouTube. Santo, blessings to you, Quintanda. Okay. Libra, are you in the house, Libra? Nine of Cups for the Libras. Nine of Cups for the Libras. Nine of Cups for the Libras. Nine of Cups. The more you think about it, the more you question it, the more you doubt it, the less it'll be done. The more you think about it, the more you question it, the more you second guess it, the less it'll be done. It just won't happen. And the one thing that your spirit guides of light, your ancestors of wisdom, the God of your understanding does not want you to do this year. It does not want you to end this year in the same manner you ended last year. It does not want you to complete this year with the same levels of frustration, uncertainty, anxiety, shame, and guilt that you ended with last year. So Spirit, the divine, is calling for you to ground your vision, to ground your purpose, to ground it, make it tangible. It's not to just be in pursuit of it. It's for you to actually allow yourself to live it. Spirit is also saying you're cheating yourself out. You are cheating yourself out because you're still accepting crumbs, collecting crumbs, following crumbs. You're settling for what is now instead of pursuing what could be and will be tomorrow if you give yourself the opportunity. When you think that what you have in front of you is shiny, you later on have a rude awakening when you recognize and realize what truly shines. Could it be that you are selecting, choosing, opting for what you have from a place of abuse, from a place of neglect, from a place of shame, from a place of guilt, from a place of unhealed traumas, from a place of ancestral traumas? While you trick yourself in thinking that you are selecting and choosing the best, hello? In the name of the baby black Jesus, hello? Some people, because they fail to know better, think that they're choosing great things when they fail to recognize that they're choosing from a place of the unevolved self. Do you hear me? The unevolved self is the one that's choosing. The neglected you is the one that's choosing. The one that doesn't think great things about herself or himself is the one that's choosing. The one that doesn't believe in herself or in himself is the one that's choosing. The one that feels less than is the one that's choosing. The one that was neglected and abandoned and abused by parents is the one that's choosing. Your higher self is not the one choosing. Because if you were to really meet, if you were to really embrace, if you were to really step into the power of your higher self, you would realize that where you're at right now is so beneath you that you should be able to want to slap yourself because of it. You would then be able to look back and say, is this the shit I was crying all night over? Is this the crap that I was about to just lose my sanity and go crazy and jump in front of a bus over? This crap, this person whose inner spirit, now that I actually see it, is dirty? Hello. 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 Am I really exchanging vibrations and energy and even juices, okay, and it ain't orange, with this person? Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. Ah, ah. Get yourself together. Ground. Come to earth. Put your feet on the ground. Carry your head on your shoulders with clarity, with self-awareness, with discernment. Because you were about to go to jail over someone that ain't worth 10 Cuban cents. Okay? Hello? You were about to have a heart attack over someone that's not worth what you think it's worth. You were about to lose your sanity and your freedom as a result of your control issues that stems from your trauma. Hello, come on now. In the name of the Black Jesus. Get it together. Get it together, because if you only knew through this card, for whomever this message is for, how many blessings the Creator wants to bestow upon you, but you are acting against yourself. You're living against yourself. You're not honoring your divinity, your inner divinity. You're not honoring it. You're not honoring it. It's time for an upgrade. Scorpio, are you in the house? Are you in the house, Scorpio? Are you in the house tonight, Scorpio? Are you in the casa tonight? Where are the Scorpions? Presente. Okay, now. Let's get it done, Scorpio. What says Spirit about you? Oh. It's like that now. Oh. It's like that now. Really? 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 Give me 1 second, you all. Ay. Okay. Scorpios have the High Priestess tonight. Great card. The High Priestess. The High Priestess. The High Priestess. The High Priestess. So, if there is a particular card that teaches us the power of being able to connect with the divine, connect with spirit, connect with the unseen world, connect with our ancestors, connect with our deceased loved ones, connect with our spirits guides, okay? Connect with Gaia, connect with all these elevated vibrations is the high priestess. The high priestess teaches us about the ability to discern, being a seer, the ancient wisdom, ancestral wisdom. But this is about tapping in, truly tapping in, deeply tapping in, not conveniently, not selectively, fully tapping in. Gotta tap in. The high priestess invites you to shut down what other people are telling you about your business idea, about your creative idea, about you wanting to move to another country, and someone is telling you, you're so crazy. What are you going to do all the way over there? And oh my God, and how can you do this? You might regret it. Oh, yeah. Listen. This is the feminine leader. This is the divine feminine. The divine feminine, the divine feminine, the divine feminine, the divine feminine is telling you, listen to the voice of spirit within and, hush the noise. Hush the noise. Hush the noise. It's important. This is your spiritual abilities, your psychic abilities that also needs recalibration. Because you could have been in experiences in the past, for whomever this message is for, in which your spiritual abilities were either neglected, abused, denied, not respected, not valued, not heard. Well, how about you don't do the same to yourself? You don't do the same to your spiritual court. Okay? And start to show up, start to acknowledge, start to embrace the gifts you've been entrusted with. But it can only be true gifts when we nurture it, when we feed it, when we practice it, when we work that muscle. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? This is the time period for you to up level. This is the time period for you to be 10 times as much consistent. Anything we start at first doesn't feel like it's valuable. Nothing is happening here, so I'm not going to stop. Listen, compared to for as long you were in, for as long as you were not doing it. Now that you've been doing it for a month, now that you've been doing it for 2 months, now that you've been doing it for 3 months, now that you've been doing it for 6 months, you think it's enough? 6 months in Spirit's world can still be considered immediate. You want immediate results. Oh, but it's been 6 months. According to Spirit, it's still immediate response. Because you're trying to sell me the fact that you've been at it for 6 months, but Spirit's been keeping tabs on you and knows that you haven't done it for 3 or 4 years or 5 years or 6 years or 7 years or 10 years. So what's the rush? What's the rush? So be patient with yourself. Balance your energy and allow things to grow through its time. You see, there are 3 different phases of moon in her crown. 3 different phases of moon. So your idea and your vision has to go through its process of maturation. It has to mature in order to manifest. Don't stop working towards the goal. Dedicate enough time Be consistent. Allow it to go through its natural process of growth, of maturation. Allow it to mature, and you will see the results. You will see the results. That I have no doubts. Capricorn, are you in the house tonight? Is Capricorn in the house tonight? Show up, Capricorn. My Page of Wands is really feeling like the Page of Hell, because my poor Page of Wands. That's when you know they have worked hard. Is Capricorn in the house tonight? Where are the Capricorns? Tap, 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 tap. Vamos a ver. Really? For the second time now, this card shows up tonight. Who did it show? Capricorn. Oh, Sag. Wait a minute. Oh my God. Yes, Sagittarius. Woo! I almost skipped over Sagittarius. Thanks for coming to save Sagittarius from being skipped. Ay. Well, Sag, you got a good card, Sag. You got a good card. But it's like I was about to say. You got the Magician. Comes up now for the second time. The Magician came up earlier for Leo, I want to say. Was it Leo? Or was it Cancer? Does anyone remember? Does anyone remember? You got that right. Them Caps were not going to say nothing. Then Capricorns were about to own this Magician card. It was then Cancer then who it came up for, I believe. Bueno. Oh, Taurus. Okay. The Magician, Sag, this is your time for manifestation. Cancer got the Chariot. Thank you. This is your time for manifestation. This is your time for manifest. This is your time to make your work. This is the time for you to put into practice good communication. Not just in your personal life, but in your professional life as well. The way you communicate it is the way you will manifest it. Okay? Number 2, don't cheat yourself out from connecting with people. Your blessings in this season will come as a result of your communication. Closed mouths don't get fed. So open your mouth. Open your mouth and communicate. Open your mouth and communicate. Open your mouth and communicate. Open your mouth and ask for what you want. Open your mouth and seek support. Open your mouth and collaborate. Open your mouth and put yourself in the right rooms around the right people. And that's how you're going to manifest. You have the ability. Okay? You have the ability, Capricorn. I mean, Sagittarius. See, Capricorn really trying to claim this card. It ain't for you, Cap. Let them Sag have their night. This is where the Magician comes in and basically tells you what you've been waiting for thus long It's close. It's close. What you've been waiting for this long has the potential. It has the potential. What will determine it is your mood, your energy, your character, your vibration. That will be the determining factor on how you are truthfully able to manifest. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? So take advantage of this energy. Use all you got. Use all your tools. Use all of your knowledge. Don't hide what you've been gifted. Don't hide. Don't dim it down. Don't ask for permission. Just do it. You're stepping into a season that can be beneficial for you. But you can't be second guessing yourself and wishy-washy and oh my God, si me hablo el pelo, me doy una mordida. No, come on, make a decision. Make a decision. Do I pull my hair? Do I bite? Do both. How about that? Do both and see what you get. Okay, now we're talking to the Capricorns. Capricorns, are you in the house tonight? My Capricornians. As I shuffle here for the Capricorns, next week, Tuesday, my beloved, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul family will be Tarot Tuesday's last night before opening up the new container. I would love for all of you to be present. Let's have a powerful closeout. Let's honor this current container for the years it has been present, for the years it's served, for the years it has dedicated to the community, to the world, to people. I know. Okay, babe. I'm going to do TikTok. I'm going to do YouTube. I'm going to do Instagram. But I would love for everyone to come on to Instagram because I want to bring a couple of people on live. Those of you that want to come on live, those of you that might want to share how, if at all, Tarot Tuesday has benefited you, supported you, guided you, held space for you. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear your experiences. I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear how Tarot Tuesday has played a role in your life. And I'm going to do that on Instagram. I am also excited for the new development. I am also excited for the new container. I am also excited for the new healing circle. Again, if you're interested in the information about the private healing circle that will take place next month, that will open up next month, click the link in my bio. On here, not long. On TikTok, I was adamant about doing it on TikTok. I gave in about maybe sometime last year. Sometime last year is when I started doing it on TikTok. But on Instagram, I've been doing it for years on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, click the link in my bio, go to the first tab and click the interest list. So you can join the interest list so you can get emailed once the new container opens up. If you're on YouTube, the link is in the description box. And if you are here on TikTok, you can go to my Instagram or my YouTube so you can sign up and get emailed and informed when the new container opens up. it's going to be, I've been working really hard on this new container. It's going to be what our inner spirit truly needs. That's all I can say about that for now. More information about that next week. Did I do Capricorn? Capricorn. Let's see. No, yeah, I did Capricorn, didn't I? Or I just finished Sagittarius. Ay, Dios mío. Help me, Black Jesus, help me. Recuérdenme. Said, oh, you forgot about us. Okay, Capricorn. I guess Capricorn goes now. I was about to start Capricorn. Thank you, TC. Thank you very much. Yeah. I almost kind of sort of borderline want to put this card back. What the heck? Why are you bringing this card out, Capricorn? You see, that's why you all wanted to claim the Magician. You all were really wanted to claim the Magician. The Seven of Swords comes up for Capricorn tonight. Seven of Swords for Capricorn. Seven of Swords for Capricorn. What? I mean, does anyone here has a moon in Aquarius? Miss Myra says this card really belongs to Sagittarius. Oh my God. Does anyone have a moon in Aquarius? If you do, listen up. Listen up as well. My beloved, dear Capricorn soul family, you are no longer to participate in environments and in places and in settings that are disrespectful to you. You are no longer to participate in settings, in places and environments that does not honor you. You are no longer to participate in places and settings and environments that opt to neglect you, use you, traumatize you, re-traumatize you, abuse you. It's a no. And I say this because this particular card experience taught me that oftentimes this is the clown. The Seven of Swords typically, generically, is known to be the card of betrayal, the cheating card. That is what it's reduced to. But this card is also about being a clown, and you're no one's clown. You're not to put up a show for other people to laugh at while neglecting and not understanding how you really feel inside, while neglecting and not understanding the processes that you're going through, while neglecting and not understanding your struggles, while neglecting and not understanding your dilemmas, the chaos. You're picking up what Spirit is laying down. So this requires boundaries. It requires self-respect. It requires recalibration. It requires acceptance. It requires deep inner healing. It requires you addressing the issues you've been neglecting, denying, ignoring. It requires you stop being the machine and start to be human to you, to yourself. You can't continue to run away from issues that have not come to its closure. We need to close chapters before we start new ones. This is also significant about you being afraid to step into new territory, because what's unfamiliar and what's new can oftentimes feel scary. But unless you bank on you, unless you take a risk on you, unless you believe in you, unless you propel yourself forward, you will never find out. You will never find out the fact that it could be great on the other side. So settling is not an option. Being complicit in your own demise is not an option. Participating in your own neglect is not an option. This is a moment in time where you free yourself and release yourself from the weight that you're carrying, especially when these are issues you're carrying that cause much shame and hurt and guilt, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, energetically. This is why, if you're a woman and if this message is for you and you're listening to me in this moment, this is why you're dealing with fibroids right now. You're dealing with cysts right now, because you're carrying that weight of situations that causes much shame and hurt and pain, and it's showing up physically in your ovaries, it's showing up physically in your fallopian tubes, it's showing up physically in your uterus, it's showing up physically in places that you need physical healing. But the physical healing cannot arrive without you taking care of the spiritual aspect of it, of what you're living through in this moment. What you're living through in this moment will not kill you unless you allow it. Do you hear me? Stop denying yourself the truth. Stop lying to yourself. Stop playing a role you have outgrown. Stop playing a role you have outgrown. You have outgrown this role. You've played it for too long. Hence, the theme of tonight. What has repeated longer than it needed to? And let's understand the patterns behind that, and let's do better. Let's do better. We must make room for growth. We must make room for new experiences. But the only one that can do that for you is yourself. No one else can do it for you. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? And it doesn't always have to be the sobbing story of the most horrible, horrific experiences, etc., etc., etc. Sometimes this can just be simply the fact that Spirit, the divine source, is calling for an upgrade in your life, but you are comfortable where you're at. You're afraid of change. You don't change easily. You're comfortable and you're participating in this numbness, this hamster's wheel. But Spirit is calling you higher. Spirit is calling you higher. It wants you to soar like the eagle. The eagle knows the partners, the mates it chooses. That's why the eagle mates in the air, up high, with the one that was able to reach her level. She doesn't go down to the ground to mate out of caution, out of safety, out of precaution of making the mistake of mingling with a chicken. You better pick this up. You better pick up what Spirit is laying down. upgrade your resources, upgrade your understanding, upgrade your awareness, upgrade your information, upgrade your knowledge, upgrade. So you don't make the mistake of staying stuck with the chickens that can't fly high enough. Do you hear me? Let's move on. Pisces. No. Aquarius. Lord, here I am trying to skip another sign. Aquarius, we're already there. Pisces. We started with Pisces tonight. Aquarius, are you in the house tonight? Aquarius, are you in the house tonight? Where are the Aquarians? Really? Second double card that shows up. The Chariot showed up earlier for who? I don't know. The Chariot shows up for the Aquarians. The Chariot showed up for Cancer, and the Chariot shows up now for Aquarius. Lead the way. Lead the way. You're not going to ask for permission. You're not going to wait for approval. You're going to lead the way. It's time to, you know how sometimes we're going from one place to another and we put the address in the GPS, but all of a sudden it offers you a different route that will get you there quicker, or a route that will get you there safer, because it sees now that the route that you were originally on, there's an accident up there. So now it reroutes you. Accept the rerouting. Accept the rerouting. Don't be adamant on staying on the same lane, because you might get to your blessings late. You might arrive at your blessings late. Are you picking up what Spirit is laying down? Let me tell you something. And this is for Aquarius, and this is for everybody. Aquarius, Libra, Virgo, Leo. This is a year that requires us to be able to really finish things we've left hanging. Complete things we've left hanging. Complete things that we have failed to execute. Personally, professionally, spiritually, religiously, even in your path, in your walk of life. You can't keep neglecting the tools you need in order to upgrade. For some people, the pattern is lack of trust, because you don't know how to trust, because you weren't taught how to trust, because you've been betrayed more times than you choose to remember. For other people, it's fear. Fear of re-experiencing old situations. Fear of the unknown. But you have a responsibility to your higher self. You have a responsibility to you. You have a responsibility to your children. You have a responsibility to your community. You have a responsibility to do the work. When you neglect and you ignore what's right before you, it can only hold you back. Now back to the Aquarians. The Chariot is asking that you embark on this journey. Embark on the journey that will take you to your destination, where you get to meet the part of you that you never thought would ever be. You hear me? The chariot is asking that you put all things into perspective. Look at the big picture of everything. Because you need a plan. The Shan is about setting a plan and acting it out, because it's a card of action. What are you waiting for? What excuses are you married to? Whose permission are you seeking? Whose validation are you yearning? This is the time. This is the time. Tonight, I invite you to sit with the question Spirit posed for us tonight, the theme for tonight. I invite you to sit with it beyond the cards, beyond the downloads, beyond the message. Sit with it beyond this session. What in my life has been repeating longer than it needed to? And what is it asking of me now? Do you hear me? What is it asking of me now, in this moment in time of my life? Not to fix it, not to force it into change, but to see it clearly, to be able to see it clearly without shame and guilt. Next week, we will talk about what we shall carry forward. What shall we carry forward? And what we don't. Do you hear me? For now, let's just let the pattern speak to us. Let's open our spiritual ears and listen. And then let's embark on the much needed healing it deserves, so that chains can be broken, ancestral baggage can be uplifted, and we can actually step into our power. Step into our power. We're coming upon a season in this world where we need to step into our power, so that we're not enslaved. I hope this makes sense. Thank you for being here tonight. I repeatedly thank those of you that have walked this path with me for this long, especially those of you that have been with me since day one. But who the heck said it's an end? It's not an end. It's a new beginning. It's a new beginning. I beseech you to at least check in. Check in and see what this new container is about. Because as Spirit reminded us earlier, the worst action is inaction. The worst action is inaction. So it doesn't hurt to try. Click the link in my bio. If you are on IG, so you can sign up for the newsletter to receive information, the interest list to receive information about the new container. If you are on YouTube, the information will be in your description box. If you're on TikTok, go visit Instagram or YouTube. My beloved soul sister Sophia, I started off with Pisces tonight. I started off with Pisces. So catch the replay and you'll see it on there. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Come ready for next week. You know, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to do my best to not get emotional next week. But, come and join me. Let's break bread together, energetically, spiritually. Let's share some stories, some experiences. Let's open up for spiritual message for next week. But let's also come together to initiate, honor what's been, and initiate what's coming. Blessings to each and every one of you. May you have a wonderful and excellent and blessed rest of your night. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve it. I don't know who you are. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve what? You deserve all of it. You deserve it. Over and out, familia. Me voy, me voy, me voy. A ver, a ver, a ver. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I shall see you pronto. Over and out. ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está? ¿Dónde está?